Judge threatened to remove Sean Diddy Combs over court facial gestures. What? He was smiling or something? Hold on. Let's see this. Oh, let's see it. Judge threatened to remove Sean Diddy Combs from the courtroom for nodding at jury. We're going to do it to desist from looking and nodding at jury during sex trafficking and conspiracy trial. The judge of federal sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy against Sean Diddy Combs threatened to remove Music Mobile from court for looking and nodding at the jury during the testimony on Thursday. So he can't look or nod? That's crazy. During that lunch break, after the jury left the room on Thursday, Judge Aruns, Super Ramanian said that he saw Combs looking at the jury and nodding vigorously during a cross-examination of Brianna Bonnelly, a former graphic designer of Combs, a longtime friend of Combs, and former girlfriend Cassandra Cassie Ventura. The judge warned Combs' lawyers that if he saw it again, it could result in the exclusion of your client from the courtroom. There should be no effort whatsoever to have an interaction with this jury, the judge added. Combs' lawyer said that it would not happen again. Earlier on Thursday, resumed the testimony she began on Wednesday. Previously testified about her friendship with Ventura and described that alleged incident in 2016. She saw her. Man, how the fuck did he dangle her big ass across his balcony? This is the part I'm not getting, y'all. Explain this to me. 17 for 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds. How? Gravity pulling. I'm in shape, and I know I'm not dangling no woman across. And she moving before throwing her. What was he, the Hulk? Before throwing her on some balcony furniture. What was he, the Hulk? He just slung her after that. She testified the incident left her bruised and emotionally scarred. Oh, she tried to get some money. And she experienced nightmares and paranoia. During the cross-examinations, Combs' lawyers challenged credibility, citing inconsistency between her current testimony and prior statements she gave regarding the alleged balcony incident. On Thursday morning, Combs' lawyer pressed her on the timeline. She claimed the incident could not have occurred when she said because Combs was performing on the East Coast for much of September 2016 before that cross-examination. Combs' lawyer suggested on the line about that and the injuries. I cannot agree with you, adding that she could not recall the exact date of the adjustment, but she would not forget him holding her on the back. Another former girlfriend of Combs who alleged she was abused and made the participant feel they were high on drugs and they were fucking. Come on, man. It's also expected to be recalled to the stand on Thursday. I wonder how is he going to court for this right now for being a swinger. So Puffy Ray go to jail for being a swinger. That's what she's saying. So all the swingers out there, y'all going to jail. Puffy go to jail, y'all going to jail. Hold on, let me see about this Doug Christie. Let me see Chris Webber. Chris Webber. Already been a baby. Let me see, Chris Webber, daughter. Chris Webber. Damn. What'd you do, Chris Webber?
In other news, Florida residents are going to be happy to hear this. It just came out.
The courtroom did not just become loud, it exploded with truth that no one expected. In front of a shocked jury, an angry Doug Christie, and a crowd that could barely breathe, Chris Webber stood up and pointed at Jackie Christie. He said, "Jackie has been lying for more than 20 years, and I have the proof." This was not a scene from a drama. It was real life. The betrayal was so deep that people online are now asking, did Jackie ever truly love Doug, or was he just a cover for something else? This was not about simple arguments anymore. This was about DNA results, secret hotel records, and a hidden relationship that changed everything. Chris took the stand and shared the truth about his past with Jackie. It was emotional, raw, and shocking. Jackie broke down. Doug looked like a man whose whole life had just fallen apart. Everyone wanted to know what Chris said, why Jackie was refusing to talk, and how serious the situation had become. Because after today, nothing would ever be the same. Chris walked into the courtroom alone. No lawyer, no assistant, no fear. He looked like someone who had waited a long time to speak. Doug sat across from him, his jaw tight, fists clenched, and eyes locked. Jackie looked nervous and unprepared. This trial had started with financial issues and one violent outburst. But now, it had turned into something much more serious. This was no longer about money or anger. This was about truth, lies, and a child who had been kept in the dark. The first signs of trouble appeared when a private video of Jackie and Chris leaked. Things became worse when Doug asked for a DNA test for Jackie's daughter, Chantel. The results showed that Chris Webber was the biological father. That news was not just shocking. It destroyed everything. Now, in front of the whole world, Chris was ready to tell his side of the story. Chris said, "I did not want to come here, but I am tired of being called the bad guy. Jackie and I were together. We were real. And Chantel? I always thought she was my daughter." The room went silent, but Chris did not stop. He pulled out a manila folder filled with old letters, photos, and even medical records. One record showed his name as Jackie's emergency contact during her pregnancy. Doug stood up in anger. The court officer had to tell him to sit down. Jackie's lawyer looked shocked and helpless. Chris looked at the jury and...
Damn. How long were they together? And weren't they teammates on San Francisco and with Sacramento? Doug Christie and Chris Webber were teammates for a long time. For at least 10 years, right? So he was smashing it. So that baby all that time with her. And now he acting like I would whooped his ass, he my homeboy, and you the pappy of my baby. Let's get back into it.
Continued. "For years, I stayed quiet. I did not want to hurt Doug. I did not want to ruin Jackie's life. But when you find out your own daughter was raised by another man who never knew the truth, someone has to speak up." Outside the courtroom, chaos had already started. Reporters were racing to break the news. Social media was full of people reacting. Some said they had lost all respect for Jackie. Others felt sorry for Doug, saying he was the only one who stayed honest. But what made this worse was what came next. Chris said Jackie had asked him to stay away from Chantel. She said Doug could give the child a better life. Jackie had chosen one man for love and the other for safety and future. Chris had stayed silent all these years, but not anymore. The folder Chris brought was full of evidence. Hotel bookings under fake names. Handwritten notes from Jackie. One note said, "If this ever gets out, I will lose everything. But I cannot lose you." Now she has lost both. Doug did not just look hurt. He looked empty. Like every moment with Chantel, every birthday, every school event, had been erased in one moment. Some sources said Doug had been warned many years ago about Jackie and Chris, but he ignored it. He said it was just gossip. That decision has now destroyed everything he believed in. At the end of the session, the judge asked Jackie if she had anything to say. She shook her head 3 times. She refused to speak. And that silence, it said more than anything else. Outside the courtroom, people were angry. They were disappointed. One person wrote, "I used to respect Jackie, but this is too much." Another said, "Doug was the only one who stayed real through it all." Chris waited this long to speak, and now the truth is out. This trial has changed everything. The truth that came out in that courtroom was not just about one.
Here's the dirty little secret to storing water for an emergency so that it doesn't go bad. Most people
Family. It was about how lies can destroy lives and how silence can be louder than words. Some fans started watching old episodes of Basketball Wives again. They found moments where Jackie seemed too defensive every time someone joked about who Chantel's real father was. One old clip is now going viral. In that video, Jackie suddenly
So Chris Webber is the pappy. Damn, son. Chris Webber is the pappy. It's over. What more can I say? What more can I say, my friend? It's over. Out there doing the fucking moves. Alright, let's see what else kind of content we got.